The rain hammered the windshield like 1,000 accusing fingers, blurring the taillights of the sleek black sedan ahead. Officer Jake Harlan gripped the wheel tighter, his rookie nerves fraying as he punched the sirens, pulling the driver over on this desolate stretch of Highway 101 outside San Francisco. He didn't know it yet, but the man stepping out into the storm, slender, with rain-slicked hair and a designer coat that screamed city soft, would shatter every prejudice Jake had carried like a loaded gun. Jake's heart pounded in sync with the wiper's frantic swipe. At 24, fresh out of the academy, every stop felt like a test he couldn't afford to fail. The dashboard clock glowed 11:47 p.m., the date October 15th etched in his mind because it was his first night solo after shadowing veterans for months. He radioed dispatch with the plate number, his voice steady despite the knot in his gut. Unit 7 Adam, traffic stop on 101 northbound, mile marker 42. Black Audi, solo male driver. Static crackled back, confirming no hits. Good. No felons, no warrants. Just another routine pull for a busted taillight. Or so he thought. The driver's door opened, and out stepped a figure that made Jake's jaw clench involuntarily. The man was maybe 5'10", lean as a reed, with sharp cheekbones and eyes that caught the cruiser's blues like polished obsidian. His coat, some high-end wool thing, clung to him like a second skin, and his loafers splashed through puddles without a flinch. No bulk, no edge, just elegance in the downpour. Jake's mind flashed to the locker room jabs back at the station. Watch for the soft ones, Harlan. They hide knives in their smiles. He shook it off, stepping out with his hand hovering near his holster. License and registration. Jake barked, rain dripping from his cap. The man complied without a word, movements fluid, almost graceful. Up close, he smelled like sandalwood and wet leather. Nothing like the sweat and cheap cologne of the drunks Jake usually hauled. The ID read Elias Voss, 42, address in the Castro district. Castro. Jake's stomach twisted. The neighborhood. He scanned the photo. Same face, younger, softer around the edges. No record. Clean as a whistle. You know why I pulled you over? Jake asked, shining his light into the Audi. Empty except for a leather messenger bag on the passenger seat, a thermos, and what looked like sheet music fluttering in the AC breeze. Elias met his gaze evenly, water beating on his lashes. The left taillight's out. Happened last week in the city, haven't had time to fix it. His voice was calm, mid-range, with a faint lilt that Jake couldn't place. East Coast, maybe. No defiance, no snark. Just facts. Jake nodded, jotting notes on his pad, but his eyes kept drifting back. Something about Elias unnerved him, not fear, but a quiet confidence that made Jake feel exposed. Step back to my cruiser. We'll run this quick. Elias followed without protest, hands visible, posture open. As they walked, Jake's boot caught a slick patch, and he stumbled slightly. Elias's hand shot out instinctively, steadying his elbow with a firm grip that belied his frame. Easy there, officer. Jake jerked away, heat rising to his cheeks. I got it. The touch lingered like a brand, warm, assured. He cleared his throat, sliding into the cruiser's warmth. Elias waited outside, silhouette etched against the storm. Dispatch came back clean. No priors, no flags. Jake stared at the ID longer than necessary, tracing the elegant script of the name. Voss, like a ghost from one of those old noir films his dad loved. He stepped out, handing back the documents. You're good to go? Get that light fixed soon. Next cop might not be so lenient. It was a throwaway line, standard procedure, but Elias's smile, small, knowing, sent a ripple through Jake's resolve. Appreciate the mercy, rookie. The word hung there, not mocking, but seeing right through him. How did he know? The fresh shave, the overpolished badge? Elias tilted his head. Long night. Jake bristled. Every night's long. Drive safe. He watched the Audi pull away, taillight flickering like a dying firefly, until it vanished into the rain-veiled night. Back in the cruiser, he exhaled, the adrenaline crash leaving him hollow. What was that? Pity? Curiosity? He slammed the gear into drive, chasing the highway's endless black ribbon, unaware that the universe had just knotted their fates tighter than a hangman's noose. The next morning dawned gray and unforgiving, the Bay Area fog rolling in like a shroud. Jake nursed black coffee at the station's bullpen, replaying the stop in his head. Why did it stick? He'd pulled over 100 cars, drugged-out speeders, entitled tech bros, weeping teens. But Elias Voss lingered, a splinter under his skin. His partner, grizzled Sergeant Ruiz, clapped him on the back. First solo jitters, kid? You'll toughen up. Jake forced a grin. Nah, just a weird one. Guy looked like he stepped out of a magazine. Ruiz chuckled, but his eyes sharpened. Castro plates? Steer clear of those types. They got ways of twisting you up. Jake nodded, the warning settling like lead. His own history wasn't spotless. Small-town Texas roots. A dad who preached man up like gospel. A mom who baked pies and averted her eyes from the news. Jake had joined the force to prove something, to himself mostly. Straight arrow Jake Harlan, badge of honor. But doubt crept in during roll call, when the lieutenant announced a string of smashing grabs in the Mission District. Jewelers hit hard, no leads. Eyes open, people. These aren't joyrides, they're pros. Jake's mind wandered to that messenger bag in the Audi. Sheet music? Or blueprints? He shook it off. Paranoia was for vets, not rookies. Lunch was a stale sandwich in the cruiser, patrolling the Castro's vibrant chaos. Rainbow flags snapped in the breeze, coffee shops buzzed with laughter, couples, men with men, women with women, strolled hand in hand without a care. Jake's grip tightened on the wheel. It wasn't hate, he told himself. Just discomfort. Unfamiliar. Like walking into a room where everyone spoke a language you half understood. Then, static, 7 Adam, 10 to 71 at Voss Gallery, 24th Street. Possible B&E. Voss. Jake's blood ran cold. He floored it, siren wailing through the one-ways. The gallery squatted between a taqueria and a vintage shop, plate glass facade shattered inward, shards glittering like fallen stars. Uniforms cordoned the scene, and there, amid the chaos, was Elias, kneeling by a toppled pedestal, gloved hands sifting debris. His coat was gone, replaced by a fitted black sweater that hugged muscles Jake hadn't clocked last night. Wait, muscles. Officer Harlan, Elias said, rising smoothly, voice even. Fancy meeting you here. No panic, just that same measured calm. Jake's lights swept the room. Canvases slashed, display cases pried open, but the safe in the back, untouched, from what he could tell. You own this place? Jake asked, notepad out, pulse racing. Co-owner. With my partner, Leo. Partner. The word landed like a stone. Elias gestured to a wiry man in his 30s, bandaging a cut on his forehead. Dark hair, tattoos peeking from his sleeves, eyes red-rimmed. Leo nodded curtly, all business. What happened? Jake pressed, scanning for clues. Footprints in the dust, too clean for amateurs. Elias's jaw tightened, a flicker of something raw crossing his face. Closed up at 9. Alarm tripped at 2 a.m. We live upstairs. Heard the glass. Came down swinging. Swinging. Jake pictured it. This lithe curator, elegant Elias, fending off intruders with what? A paintbrush? Ruiz arrived then, taking lead. Voss, huh? Any enemies in the art world? Elias's laugh was bitter. Plenty. But this feels personal. He locked eyes with Jake. You believe in second chances, officer? Jake swallowed. Depends on the crime. The air thickened, charged with unspoken currents. As forensics dusted for prints, Jake lingered, watching Elias direct the cleanup with quiet authority. Leo shot him a wary glance, protective. Jake felt like an intruder in their world, but something pulled him closer, a thread of intrigue, laced with shame. By shift's end, the report was filed. No suspects, gallery insured, but Elias's words echoed. Second chances. Jake drove home to his cramped Oakland apartment, the rain starting up again. He cracked a beer, scrolled his phone. Old habits, Texas forums spewing venom about those people. But tonight, it soured his gut. He typed Elias Voss into the station database. Clean. Too clean. A deeper search on his laptop yielded fragments. Gallery owner, queer rights fundraiser, whispers of a past in security consulting. Security, not art school fluff. Sleep evaded him, dreams tangled with shattered glass and steady hands. Morning brought a text from dispatch. Voss Gallery lead. Interview Voss again. Possible connection to mission hits. Jake's stomach flipped. Connection? Or coincidence? He suited up, badge heavy, driving back into the Castro's embrace, where rainbows clashed with his black and white world. The gallery hummed with activity when he arrived. Contractors boarding windows, Leo on the phone with insurers, Elias at the counter sketching inventories. He looked up, unsurprised. Back so soon. Miss me? Jake flushed. Official business. Those smash and grabs. Your pieces stolen match the MO descriptions. Elias slid over a list. Abstract sculptures, modernist prints. Valuables, but not irreplaceable. Whoever did this wanted chaos, not cash. His pen tapped rhythmically, betraying tension. Up close, faint scars traced his knuckles. Old, faded. Not curator hands. You said you came down swinging. Jake ventured. What did you use? A ghost of a smile. Improvised. Broken bottle, mostly. Leo's got the bruises to prove he backed me up. Leo snorted from across the room, affection in his glare. Jake envied that ease, that bond forged in fire. As Jake photographed the scene, Elias hovered, pointing out anomalies, a smudged safe dial, a misplaced canvas. Their shoulders brushed. Jake tensed, but Elias didn't pull away. You ever feel like you're chasing shadows? Elias murmured. All the time, Jake admitted, surprising himself. The vulnerability slipped out, raw. Elias nodded, eyes softening. Shadows have stories, officer. Sometimes they're worth the chase. Outside, the fog lifted, sunlight piercing like truth. Jake left with more questions than answers. Elias's number scrawled on his pad. 4 follow-ups. He didn't call. Not yet. But the pull was there, magnetic, dangerous. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of patrols and dead ends. The mission robberies escalated. A boutique torched, a pawnshop gutted. Jake threw himself in, volunteering overtime, ignoring Ruiz's warnings about burnout. Nights, he'd drive by the gallery, lights glowing warm against the dark. Once, he saw Elias and Leo through the window, heads bent over wine and canvases, laughing. It twisted something in him, loneliness, sharp as a blade. Then, the tip came. Anonymous call linking the hits to a crew out of the Tenderloin, ringleader Ghost, elusive, whispered to be ex-military. Jake's gut screamed Voss. Security consulting? He staked out the gallery that night, cruiser hidden in an alley. At midnight, Elias emerged alone, locking up, glancing over his shoulder like he felt eyes. Jake held his breath as Elias paused, then slipped into a side door. Upstairs apartment? Curiosity won. Jake circled the block, parking discreetly. Through a cracked blind, he glimpsed Elias, shirtless, bandaging a fresh gash on his ribs. Not from the break-in. Older, deliberate. Jake's radio buzzed. Ruiz. Harlan, stand down. New lead on Ghost. He peeled out, shame-burning. Spying? On a civilian? The bust went south the next day. Warehouse raid in the industrial district. Jake breaching with the team, flashbangs popping. Gunfire erupted. He dove behind crates, heart slamming. A shadow loomed. Ghost enforcer. Masked, charging. Jake fired wide, the man tackling him. Fists flew, boot to ribs. Then a crack, and the attacker slumped, zip-tied from behind. Jake gasped up, vision clearing on Elias. Hoodie askew, knee on the thug's back, eyes feral. You okay? How the? Jake stammered, scrambling up. Elias's grip was iron, hauling him clear as Swat swept in. Later, Elias hissed, vanishing into the chaos like smoke. Back at the station, debrief was a blur. Ghost slipped the net, but 2 arrests. Jake cornered Elias in the lot. Wait, how was he even here? You with us? Undercover. Elias leaned against his Audi, rain starting again. Freelance. Old habits. His smile was weary. Trained SWAT for 20 years before the art world called. Burned out on the blood. Jake reeled. The soft curator, a trainer? The pieces clicked. Scars, poise, that steady hand in the storm. Why hide it? Prejudices, officer. Gavette. They see weakness first. Elias's voice cracked, just once. Leo pulled me out. Gave me a life. Jake's throat tightened. I pulled you over thinking. You thought right. At first glance. Elias stepped closer, rain mingling with unshed tears. But looks lie. People do too. The dam broke then, not with words, but a shared silence, heavy with possibility. Jake extended a hand, this time unforced. Call me Jake. Elias. Their palms met, worlds colliding in the downpour. The revelation hung between them like the mist off the bay, thick and unyielding. Jake drove home in a daze, Elias's words looping. Looks lie. He parked crooked in his spot, climbed the stairs to his apartment, the echo of gunfire still ringing in his ears. Inside, he stripped off his soaked uniform, staring at his reflection, bruised ribs mirroring Elias's hidden ones. 20 years in Swat. The man who'd steadied him on slick asphalt had trained killers to save lives. And Jake? He'd sized him up as prey. Sleep came fitful, dreams of shadowed figures and shattered glass morphing into Elias's face, vulnerable, fierce. Morning light filtered through blinds, and his phone buzzed. Unknown number. Elias. Coffee. Neutral ground. Need to debrief. Off record. Jake's thumb hovered, then typed. Hate Street. 9 a.m. Neutral, like he hadn't just crossed a line. The cafe buzzed with weekend energy, hipsters nursing lattes, buskers strumming outside. Elias arrived in jeans and a faded academy tee, the kind Jake recognized from his own drawer. No coat, no pretense. They claimed a corner booth, steam rising from mugs like unspoken confessions. You dropped a bomb last night, Jake started, stirring sugar he didn't need. SWAT trainer? How does that lead to this? He gestured vaguely at Elias's civilian ease. Elias sipped, eyes distant. 20 years chasing ghosts, literally. Breached doors in Baghdad, trained rookies stateside. But the toll? He trailed off, tracing a scar on his thumb. Lost partners. Good men. Leo was my anchor. Met him at a vet support group. He saw the artist in me, not the soldier. Opened the gallery as therapy. Paint over bullets. Jake leaned in, drawn by the raw edge in Elias's voice. And last night, freelance means what, vigilante? A wry chuckle. Consulting. Leo's got connections. I advise on security for queer spaces. Last night's tip came through him. Ghost Crew targeted us because we fund anti-hate patrols. His gaze sharpened. You looked shocked. Not just at the takedown. Jake shifted, heat creeping up. Pulled you over, saw Castro plates, the coat, assumed. Soft. Harmless. The word tasted like ash. My bad. Elias's expression softened, not pity, but understanding. We all assume. I did with you, fresh-faced cop, Texas drawl under the accent. Figured Bible belt baggage. He paused. Was I wrong? Jake's laugh was bitter. Dad's a rancher. Real men don't cry, don't bend. Mom echoes it. Joined the force to fit the mold. He met Elias's eyes, steady. But molds crack. The conversation flowed then, barriers eroding like fog in sun. Elias shared war stories. Not gore, but the quiet fractures. A teammates coming out under fire, the prejudice in briefings. Jake confessed locker room slurs, the knot of self-doubt. Hours slipped by, refills cooling untouched. When they parted, Elias's hand on Jake's shoulder lingered. A bridge, tentative. Back on patrol, the city felt alive, electric. The robberies simmered down, ghost gone underground, but Jake's world tilted. He texted Elias updates, casual at first. Heard from Leo? Responses came quick, laced with dry wit. Leo's plotting world domination via espresso. You. Ruiz noticed the shift. You glowing, Harlan? Spill. Jake shrugged it off, just cracking a case. But inside, guilt gnawed. Fraternizing? With a civilian. Worse. One who blurred lines Jake had drawn in stone. The twist came midweek. Another hit, this time the gallery's storage unit in Soma. Jake arrived to smoke and sirens. Elias and Leo already there, faces ashen. They got the originals, Elias said, voice hollow. My sketches from deployment, personal. Jake's blood boiled. We'll get him back. He coordinated the canvas. But as uniforms cleared, Leo pulled him aside. Elias trusts you. Don't make me regret greenlighting that coffee. The warning stung, laced with fierce loyalty. Jake nodded. He's safe with me. Nights deepened their thread. Elias invited him to a gallery event. Queer artists, low-key. Jake hesitated, badge clashing with rainbows, but showed up in civvies, heart hammering. The space transformed, string lights, jazz humming, bodies moving fluid. Elias found him by the wine, eyes lighting. You came. Curious, Jake lied, accepting a glass. They wandered exhibits, raw pieces on identity, loss. One canvas stopped Jake cold. Abstract swirls of blue and black. Elias's signature scrawled bottom right. This yours? Elias nodded, throat working. Nights after ops. Colors for the chaos. Jake studied it, seeing not art, but survival. Their fingers brushed, reaching for the same plaque. Neither pulled away. Leo interrupted, arm around Elias's waist, possessive, but eyes on Jake assessing. Enjoying the show, officer? Jake, he corrected. And yeah, eye-opening. The rest of the night blurred. Conversations with bold creators, Elias's laugh cutting through noise. As closing neared, Jake stepped outside for air, city pulse syncing with his own. Elias followed. Thanks for coming. Means something. Jake turned, rain fresh air charged. Means something to me too. The space between them shrank, breaths mingling. Then Leo's voice from the door. Elias? Cab's here. The moment fractured, but the spark lingered. Days later, a break. Pawnshop sting netted a ghost fence, sketches recovered. Jake hand-delivered them to the gallery, Elias's joy palpable. Hero of the hour. In gratitude, Elias cooked, simple Italian at their loft above the shop. Leo hovered at first, thawing over Chianti. Stories flowed, Leo's punk band days, Elias's first deployment. Jake shared Texas tales, barbecues masking tensions, his sister's secret escape to college. As plates cleared, Leo's phone rang. Old contact, ghost sighting in the Presidio. I go, Elias said, rising. Jake stood too. Not alone. The drive was tense, fog cloaking the old military ruins. They parked, flashlights cutting shadows. Footsteps echoed. Ghost crew, 3 shadows unloading crates. Jake radioed silent backup, but Elias moved like liquid night, disarming one with a chokehold Jake barely tracked. Training, he whispered, grinning fierce. Chaos erupted. Shots pinged off stone, Jake tackling another. Elias covered him. Precise burst from a concealed piece. Legal, registered. Backup swarmed. Ghost cuffed in the melee. As dust settled, Jake panted against a wall, Elias beside him. We make a team. Adrenaline sang in Jake's veins, Elias's proximity intoxicating. Yeah, we do. Their eyes locked, the world narrowing. Then sirens wailed closer, reality crashing in. Back at the loft, Leo waited, worry etched. Idiots. But his hug for Elias was tight, grateful. Jake lingered on the stoop, rain pattering. Elias joined him. Stay. Jake did, crashing on the couch to words weaving late. Dawn found them side by side, barriers dust. But Jake's phone buzzed. Ruiz. Harlan, IA's sniffing your consultant. Watch your step. The warning chilled. Lines blurred, hearts too. The internal affairs shadow loomed like the fog over the Golden Gate, subtle but suffocating. Jake deleted the text thread with Elias in a panic, heart in his throat, but the pull was stronger than fear. He threw himself into paperwork, burying the Presidio bust under red tape, but Ruiz cornered him in the locker room. Heard you moonlighting with that curator. Voss. Spill, kid, before it bites. Jake zipped his bag, avoiding mirrors. Just leads. Case closed, right? Ruiz's stare drilled. Closed cases don't keep you smiling like a fool. Watch it. Queer world's got its own rules. And brass hates complications. The words landed like punches, echoing Dad's sermons. Jake nodded, fleeing to his cruiser, radio static, a poor companion. The city sprawled indifferent. Alcatraz's silhouette mocking from the bay, tourists oblivious to undercurrents. He detoured to the Castro, parking across from the gallery. Elias was visible through the window, restoring frames with Leo, their rhythm intimate. Jake's chest ached, not jealousy, but a yearning for that ease. Elias spotted him, waving him in. Hiding in shadows now, teasing, but eyes concerned. Work stuff? Jake muttered, helping lift a ladder. Leo eyed him coolly. Work that gets you killed? Or just hearts? The directness floored Jake. Neither. Both. Elias laughed, diffusing. Leo's bark's worse. Come up, dinner. No stakes. The loft was a sanctuary. Exposed brick, canvases leaning like old friends, herbs scenting the air. Over pasta, talk turned personal. Leo shared his coming-out scar, Disowned family, streets as shelter. Elias saved me too. Pulled me from a dive bar brawl. Saw the musician under the mess. Elias blushed. Rare vulnerability. Fate's funny. Jake opened up then, halting. High school crushes buried deep. The force's armor. Always thought love was simple. Man, woman, end. Elias's hand covered his across the table, warm anchor. It's messy, eh? Deeper. Leo cleared plates, giving space. On the fire escape, city lights twinkling. Jake leaned into Elias, foreheads touching. This scares me. Elias's breath ghosted his skin. Me too. But shadows flee light. Their lips met, soft, tentative, a question answered. Jake's world tilted, colors brighter, fears dissolving in that kiss. It deepened, hands mapping familiar scars, but pulled back at a throat clear from inside. Leo, smirking. Get a room, not mine. Laughter broke tension, but reality intruded dawn. Jake's alarm, shift looming. He dressed quiet, Elias watching. We'll figure it, Jake promised, sealing it with another kiss. Station buzzed with Presidio fallout, commendations, but whispers. IA's detective, Harlan Sr. vibe in a cheap suit, pulled Jake for informal chat. Fraternizing with civilians, officer? Especially. Affiliates. The pause dripped disdain. Jake's fists clenched under table. Consulting asset. Case solved. The detective leaned in. Solved or compromised? Your father's reputation. Leave him out. Jake's voice steel. Dismissed, he stormed out, badge burning. Elias waited texts. Rough? Jake, surviving. You. That night, a call. Elias, voice tight. Leo's ex, trouble. Meet at the pier. Jake sped to aquatic park, waves crashing like accusations. Elias paced the breakwater, Leo absent. He bolted. Old flame resurfaced, dragging demons. Elias's eyes glistened. I pushed too hard. Move on, we're solid. Now he's gone. Jake pulled him close, rain starting. We'll find him. They searched dive bars, Leo's old haunts, hours blurring. At a Tenderloin club, pulsing bass, they spotted him. Dancing reckless, ex's arm possessive. Confrontation brewed. Words flew. Shoves. Jake de-escalated, badge flashing, but Leo's ex sneered. Stay out, straight boy. The slur cut, but Elias's glare silenced. He's family. Leo crumpled then, ex slinking away. Back at the loft, tears and truths. Leo's fear of losing Elias to normalcy. Jake mediated, raw. Normal's overrated. We're all fractured. Dawn mended them. Hugs, promises. But Jake's phone, Ruiz. IA's digging. Step back, Harlan. He didn't. Instead, he dove deeper, volunteering for Castro patrols, earning wary nods from locals. Elias showed him hidden gems, hidden alleys with murals of resilience, cafes hosting story slams. One night, a poetry reading, voices raw on love's edges. Elias read, verses of foxholes and first touches, Jake's throat tight. After, walking home, hands linked. You're changing me, Jake whispered. Elias squeezed. Mutual. The conflict crested mid-month. Ghost trial loomed. Elias subpoenaed as witness. Threats trickled. Notes at the gallery, slash tires. Jake assigned protection detail, official cover. Nights at the loft turned vigilant. Chess by candlelight, Elias's head on Jake's shoulder. Ever think of quitting? Elias asked once, fingers tracing Jake's badge. Every day? But then who protects? Jake countered. Their bond deepened. Late talks on faith, loss, the queer underbelly of heroism. Leo warmed, dubbing Jake the rookie whisperer. But tension simmered. A homophobic slur from a beat cop, Jake's defense earning side eyes. Picking sides, Harlan. All sides, he snapped. The break-in at Jake's apartment came unannounced. Door jimmied, drawers ransacked, badge tossed like trash. Message clear, back off. Elias arrived first, face thunder. Ghosts reach or IAs. Jake packed a bag. Staying with you. Non-negotiable. Leo grumbled, but relented. The loft became fortress, laughter defiant. One evening, cooking mishap, burnt garlic bread, dissolved into tickles, then kisses, Leo retreating with a grin. You two are disgusting. In the best way. But dawn brought horror. News alert. Leo's ex, dead, Overdose, suspicious. Leo shattered, blaming himself. Elias held him through sobs. Jake fetching coffee, useless. He was clean, Leo gasped. That bastard pushed him back in. Funeral was small, raw, rain-soaked cemetery, eulogies choked. Jake stood sentinel, arm around Elias, Leo's hand in his. Vows renewed. Justice, not vengeance. Back home, grief turned inward. Elias withdrew, sketching furious. Jake confronted. Talk to me. It's always loss, Elias whispered. Love invites it. Jake cupped his face. Or defies it. Their embrace fierce, reaffirming. IA closed and then, formal inquiry. Jake suspended pending review. Compromised integrity, the letter read. Ruiz visited, apologetic. Told you, kid. Love's a liability. Not love, Jake lied. Truth. Alone, he drove to the Presidio, ruins whispering. Elias found him there, sunset gilding scars. Suspended. Yeah. Jake's voice broke. Worth it. Elias pulled him up. Always. Suspension hit like a demotion to ghost. Endless days in limbo. IA's noose tightening with each interview. Jake paced the loft, jobless shadow, while Elias and Leo rebuilt the gallery's rep post-trial. Ghost got 20, but the victory tasted hollow, laced with Leo's grief. Nights, Jake dreamed of breaches gone wrong, waking sweat-soaked into Elias's arms. You're safe, Elias murmured, but Jake wondered who protected whom. To fill voids, Elias dragged him to volunteer shifts at a queer youth center, painting murals, coaching self-defense basics. Kids eyed Jake wary at first. Cop? But his Texas charm, softened by Elias's glow, won laughs. One teen, Alex, 17, trans, bruised from home, latched on. You get it? The hiding. Jake nodded, throat tight. Learned late. But yeah. Elias watched, pride warm. You're good at this. Leo, healing slow, channeled pain into music, basement jams, Jake on makeshift drums. Not half bad, straight edge, Leo teased. First real smile since the funeral. Bonds solidified, family forged in fire. But cracks showed. Jake's dad called, voice gruff. Heard you're off duty. Messing with city freaks. The slur ignited. They're people, Dad. Good ones. Silence, then disconnect. Jake hurled his phone. Elias collecting pieces, literal, figurative. He'll come around. Or not. Your call. Jake chose not. Block number, first cut of many. Freedom tasted sharp. The twist unraveled mid-fall. Anonymous leak to press. Rookie cop's queer affair cracks SWAT case. Photos. Jake and Elias at the poetry slam. Hands linked. Headlines screamed scandal. Station erupted. Ruiz texted. Damage control. Deny. Jake didn't. Statement to IA. Relationship post case. Personal. Consensual. They suspended him indefinite. Brass baying for blood. Protests brewed outside. Queer activists chanting Jake's name, counter with slurs. Elias shielded him from flashes, Leo barricading the door. We fight dirty now. Elias's past surfaced then, old squad mates, surfacing for support. Burly vets, rainbow pins gleaming, toasting Voss's rookie. Stories flowed, Elias's drills, saving asses under fire. Soft? Huh. Man's a legend. Jake absorbed, a deepening love. But prejudice struck home. Neighbor complaint, loft rated for nuisance. Nothing found, but the violation lingered. Leo snapped, punching a wall. When's enough? Elias, steady. When we win. They countered with a gallery fundraiser for youth center. Jake MC reluctant. Spotlight burned, but applause thundered. Alex hugging tight. You showed up. Post-event, donors pledged big. Leo's set slaying. Backstage, Elias pulled Jake into shadows. Proud. Overwhelmed. Kiss hungry, affirming. Climax brewed underground. Ghost's appeal, based on tainted evidence from Jake's bias. Lawyer slimy, digging Elias's closet, deviant influences. Jake testified, voice steel, bias? I saw truth. He saved my life. Courtroom tense, judge's gavel final, appeal denied. But victory short. Tale on Elias. Ghost's brother, vengeful. Stakeout revealed. Burner calls, stakeouts. Jake, off duty but armed, confronted alone. Rookie mistake. Alley scuffle. Knife flash. Jake disarming with Elias's training echoes. Back up, Elias. Leo charging in. Brother cuffed, snarling. Hospital wait. Jake stitched, Elias pacing. Idiot. Hero. Leo, our idiot. Recovery bonded deeper. Elias nursing, reading war poetry. Leo cooking disasters. Laughs healing. Jake's suspension lifted partial, probation, desk duty. Earned stripes. Ruiz grunted, clapping back. Winter crept, holidays looming. Jake invited Elias to Texas. No? Instead, they hosted youth center kids, vets, misfits. Tree-trimmed rainbow, table groaning. Toasts to absentees, dances awkward. Jake slow-danced Elias, Leo with Alex's mentor. Family, Jake whispered. But shadows lingered. IA probe reopened, anonymous tip on inappropriate conduct at center. Jake's heart sank. Betrayal? Ruiz confessed. Not me, kid. But brass wants blood. Elias rallied. We exposed them. Leaks reversed. Press on department bias. Stories from queer officers. Public outcry swelled. Mayor intervening. Probe shelved. Jake reinstated full. Spring bloomed tentative. Gallery expansion. Jake's promotion to detective. Dates stolen. Picnic in Golden Gate Park. Whispers of forever. Marry me. Jake blurted one dusk. Ring simple. Elias teary, yes. But slow, we've earned it. Leo officiated mock ceremony. Kids cheering. Real one planned. Small, fierce. Yet conflict simmered. Jake's sister visited, eyes wide at the loft. Dad sorry-ish. But this? Hesitation. Elias charmed, stories weaving. She stayed, hugged tight. Love looks good on you. Summer heat wave. Case pulled Jake deep. Hate crime ring targeting trans spots. Elias consulted Leo's network key. Undercover strain. Jake posing ally. Heart-aching deceptions. One op south. Raid gone wrong. Shot grazing. Elias at bedside. Fury masked. No more risks. Can't stop. Jake rasped. For them. Elias relented, but walls built. Arguments sharp. You're slipping back. Jake, duty calls. Leo mediated. Balance, fools. Or lose it all. Reconciliation raw. Beach walk. Waves washing doubts. I need you whole, Elias confessed. You have me, Jake vowed. Fall brought harvest. Convictions, center thriving. Jake's book, memoir on bridges built. Inked deal, Elias illustrating. Launch party electric. Dad attending silent. Not at end, first thaw. But ultimate twist, Leo's proposal to his bandmate, surprise. Double wedding whispers. Winter again. Vows exchanged under oaks, rain blessing. Jake and Elias. Rings exchanged, Leo beside. To shadows conquered. The wedding's afterglow faded into routine's embrace, but peace proved fragile as bay fog. Jake's detective desk piled with cold cases. Hate crimes unsolved, echoes of their own battles. Elias thrived, gallery buzzing with exhibits on resilience. But nights found him sketching ghosts, fallen comrades, Leo's ex, arts therapy. He'd say, but Jake saw the weight. Leo's engagement sparked joy. Bandmate Riley a firecracker, tattooed drummer, quick wit. Double wedding plans wove chaos. Venue hunts in wine country. Tastings devolving to laughs. Jake's sister flew in permanent, interning at the center, her Texas twang bridging worlds. Dad's letters came sporadic, gruff apologies, clippings of pride marches. Proud son. Jake read them aloud to Elias, tears salting words. But undercurrents stirred. New brass at station, hard line on fraternization, eyes on Jake's partnership. Whispers, Voss influence. Ruiz retired, replacement Sergeant Hale a bulldog, clean slate, Harlan. No favorites. First clash, patrol overlap, Jake aiding a Castro assault. Victim, young artist, beaten for flyers. Jake's fury leaked, hates cowardice. Hale reamed, emotions cloud judgment. Elias waited post-shift, tea steaming. Breathe. You're better. Doubt crept. Am I? We're just fooling them. Elias pulled him close. You're real. That's enough. Case load intensified. Serial tagger hitting queer murals, messages venomous. Jake linked it to old ghost fringes. Revenge arc Elias's security, I proved gold. patterns in CCTV. Amateur rage, he noted. They tailed leads nights, Jake's badge, Elias's instinct. One bust, rooftop chase, Tagger cornered. For my brother, he spat, ghostkin. Cuffed, but words lingered. You ruined us. Jake's gut twisted, collateral of justice. Home, Elias massaged knots. Not your burden. But sleep evaded, nightmares of what-ifs. Leo noticed, pulling Jake for beers. Elias bottles it. You explode. Balance, man. Riley chimed. Therapy? We go, keeps us sane. Session started. Circle of vets. Jake first to crack. Feared losing myself in this. Elias later. Feared losing you to duty. Healing words, slow. Spring wedding approached, Napa Vineyard blooming. Rehearsal dinner. Families mingling. Jake's kin tentative, Elias's chosen fierce. Dad cornered Elias. Heard him mile. Elias grinned. Never. Handshake sealed. Ceremony day dawned perfect. Vows heartfelt. Jake's, I choose you. Shadows and all. Rings glinted, kisses sealed under arches. Reception wild. Leo's band rocking, dances free. Alex, now out and proud, toasted. To rookies who learn. Honeymoon brief. Big Sur cabin, waves crashing. Days tangled sheets. No heat, just presence. Night stargazing, futures sketched. Kids. Jake mused. Elias. Surrogacy, adoption, when ready. Return crashed reality. Hale assigning Jake lead on Tagger ring expansion, arson threats. Elias protested. Delegate. Jake, can't. Strain built. Late nights, curt texts. Climax ignited. Gallery targeted. Exhibit on queer vets torch partial. Elias inside. Inhaling smoke, hauling canvases. Jake arrived amid flames, pulling him out coughing. Idiot. Fury masked fear. Hospital clear, but rift gaped. Pushing me away, Elias accused. Jake, protecting us. Leo mediated again. Talk, or burn. Truth poured. Jake's fear of inadequacy. You're the hero. Elias. Partners, not pedestals. Reconciliation tender. Vows renewed casual. Case cracked. Mole and department feeding tips. Hale's deputy, prejudice deep. Exposed, arrested, Jake's testimony key. Brass apology tour, promotion dangled. Summer eased. Beach days with Riley's crew, center camp for youth. Jake coached archery, Elias stories. One kid, mirroring young Jake, scared to come out. Jake, fears liar. Live true. Fall deep in bonds. Adoption papers started. Fostering trial run. Teen runaway. Sam, wary but thawing. Loft bustled. Chaos cherished. But prejudice's echo. Station prank. Locker scrawled, Fairy's boy. Jake confronted. Team divided. Elias advised. Lead by example. Speech followed. Hate divides. We serve all. Ripples spread. Allies emerging. Winter holidays. Full house. Sam's first turkey. Dad visited. Awkward but present. Hug for Elias. Family. Healing arc. New Year dawn promise. Book tour for Jake's memoir. Elias co-illustrating. Launches intimate. Stories shared. One night. Post-reading. Q&A raw. How'd you overcome? Jake. Love. Stubbornly. Case lingered. International angle. Tagger linked to hate network. Jake teamed feds. Elias consulting remote. Tension peaked op night. Warehouse abroad via feed. But hack. Elias's face on screen. Targeted. Come get me. Taunt. Panic surged. Jake flew solo. Against orders. Elias kidnapped? No. Decoy. Elias embedded. Turning tables. Bust viral. But Jake's rage? Never again. Airport reunion. Embrace bruising. Team. Elias gasped. Always. Spring renewal. Sam adopted formal. Family complete. Wedding anniversary. Vow renewal. Leo/Riley joining. Vows evolved. Through fires, we rise. But ultimate conflict. Jake's offer. SWAT instructor. Elias's old turf. Your legacy, Elias urged. Jake hesitated. Your world now. Acceptance. First class. Rookies wide-eyed. Elias guest spoke. Soft? Nah. Strengths in heart. Summer zenith. Center expansion. Funded by book. Jake keynote pride. From pullover to partner. Love wins. Fall harvest. Dad's visit full. stories swapped. Was blind, he admitted. Winter close, quiet nights, Sam thriving. Jake to Elias, best plot twist. You, Elias smiled. The years folded like well-worn pages, each crease a lesson etched deeper. Jake's SWAT classes became legend, Harlan's heart, rookies whispered, blending tactics with talks on bias, vulnerability. Elias guest lectured often, his presence commanding, dispelling myths with quiet fire. Sam blossomed. High school star, art major like Elias, dating sweet. First crush nerves met with Jake's gruff wisdom. Protect your heart, kid, but don't hide it. Leo and Riley's band toured, loft empty nights. Jake and Elias reclaiming space, slow dances in kitchen. Gallery evolved. Wing for youth exhibits, Sam's pieces shining. Leo produced album on loss, Grammy nod. Party wild, Jake toasting. To rhythms unbroken. But scars itched. Anniversary of Ghost bust, nightmares resurfacing. Jake woke gasping, Elias soothing. Here. Therapy continued. Group now including Sam. Family therapy, Elias quipped. Breakthroughs. Jake forgiving dad full. Visit Texas. Ranch tour. Elias roping calves clumsy. Laughs healing old wounds. Prejudices Hydra reared sporadic. Department policy fight. Queer sensitivity training mandatory. Jake leading. Backlash. Anonymous threats. Station protest. Elias rallied allies. Press conference fierce. Hates the intruder. Resolution. Policy passed. Jake honored. Case pulled. Jake global. Interpol on hate net. Elias as profiler. His psych from SWAT days key. Travel strained. Hotel calls. Miss you. Climax in Berlin. Sting op. Jake breaching. Elias coordinating. Shot fired. Graze. But Elias's scream overcomes. Jake. Reunion in med tent. Vows whispered. No more solos. Homecoming heroes. Parade slice. But quiet thanks. Sam's hug. Dad. Word milestone. Summer idol. Europe family trip. Paris galleries for Elias. Rome ruins for Jake. Sam kissed girlfriend under Eiffel. Jake's nod. Proud. Leo/Riley honeymoon tandem. Double dates abroad. Fall pivot. Jake's book sequel. Bridges burned. Rebuilt. Elias co-author. Raw chapters on marriage. Fatherhood. Launch sold out. Q&A teary. Loves the plot. Winter whisper. Dad's health dip. Cancer. Flight home. Jake bedside. Elias supporting mom. Regrets. Dad rasped. Jake. None. You. Fading smile. Knew too late. Passing peaceful. Funeral mixed. Cowboys and rainbows. Toasts blended. Grief shared. Bonfire vigils. Sam's sketch eulogy. Spring rebirth. Memorial scholarship. Dad's name on plaque at center. New conflict. Sam's crisis. College rejection. Identity doubts. Not enough. Jake echoed old fears. Elias. You're everything. Therapy trio. Breakthroughs. Acceptance letter. Pride march arm in arm. Summer zenith. Leo/Riley baby news. Surrogate. Godparents Jake/Elias. Nursery paint party. Fall depth. Jake's chief bid. Controversy brewed. Rivals slinging agenda. Campaign gritty. Debates on reform. Elias strategizing. Win narrow. Swearing in electric. Serve with heart. Winter close. First family Christmas full. Riley's bump. Sam's partner. Toasts to ghosts. We outran them. Years accelerated. Sam graduates. Wedding small. Jake walks aisle. Teary. My boy. Elias. Our. Leo/Riley's kid arrives. Aunt/Uncle Judy's joyous. Jake's tenure. Department transformed. Alliances forged. Retirement loomed gentle. Jake at 50. Elias graying elegant. Last class. Strength's not armor. It's connection. Elias waiting. Ready? Post-career. Travels. Vineyard? No. Center directorship shared. Mentoring endless. Final twist. Anonymous letter. Ghost's last kin. Reformed. Apology. Your light changed me. Jake shares with Elias. Full circle. Beach sunset. Hands linked. Best story? Ours, Elias says. Unfinished. Waves applaud. Love eternal.